Mike and Tom are registered with Stewart Partners Global Advisory LLC.
Common Sense Finance with Mike Wiginton and Tom Farrell of HL Wiginton Capital Management, an independent investment and financial planning firm in downtown Jasper. Mike is a chartered financial analyst charter holder, and Tom is a certified financial planner professional. They are here to discuss and give their thoughts on current financial and economic matters. Now, with Common Sense Finance, here are Mike and Tom.
Hi, this is Tom Farrell and Mike Wiginton. We're here to discuss another financial topic. It started years ago, I guess 5, 6, 7 years ago, this craze about the cryptocurrencies. Yeah. I got a lot of questions. I know you did as well. And something new that's come up in the last few years is Mary Jane, as some people call it. Most people are familiar with it as marijuana. They're interested in investing in some of these companies, that may be able to profit from, some of the states legalizing. So I just wanted to get your thoughts first on the cryptocurrency thing about what do you think that's going and how you view that as an investment vehicle.
Yeah, so it's you almost have to address it in some way because you get so many questions about it, and we've talked about it like over the months, and the questions that you get on standing around on the tee box, right? Well, your golfing buddies that come up and ask you about it, and so that it seems to be it's always, and these kind of take form in what I call their little manias, right? All this attention that's garnered around a particular thing, and they use the term invest. Should I invest in Bitcoin? What do you think about that? And so I always say, let's kind of rephrase that. I think you ought to take the term invest out. So first of all, cryptocurrencies. Let's get a couple of things straight. And I'm all for it. Let the market decide. Something that's not a government-backed piece of paper. Quite frankly, my libertarian leanings, I'm all for that. I'm not against it. But let's just call it what it is. It fails the definition of a currency. All right. There's a handful of functions of money or currency. Right. One is a store of value. Okay, meaning that it holds its value, it's stable, and that I can, reasonably expect to go to the store tomorrow and buy the same basket of goods for relatively the same price as I did today, right? And if we have a chart, we'll flash a chart up on Bitcoin, and you can see how volatile it's been. It's hardly, it in no way functions as a store of value. Another function is that it's a unit of value, meaning that everything, when you go out into the economic world, things are valued. Milk, clothes, homes, they're valued in terms of dollars. That unit, a unit or standard of value. Well, how many things do you know that are priced in Bitcoin? Right? Yeah. They're not. Right? So it fails that function. Another easy function is a medium of exchange. So I can go out and anybody, anywhere will take that form of that currency, will transact in that form of currency. So very few people.
You're telling me that you can't go to Berners and use Bitcoin to
Rusty's probably not going to take Bitcoin.
Okay, all right, that's what
he's probably not, and Rusty's a really progressive type guy, and I'm sure he'd love to. But he's probably not going to take Bitcoin. Not too long ago, a few years ago, I had a Dish Network. I had service at the lake with a Dish Network account, and all of a sudden it popped up that they would when you go to pay, I pay my bills online, and paying in Bitcoin was an option. Right. And it didn't. And I'm not sure why. I never asked them or talked to them about it. Wasn't there long, and then they quit accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment. But it fails the functions of a currency. Then when you think about it as an investment, well, when we talk about investments and kind of a general framework of what defines an investment, well, Bitcoin doesn't represent ownership in anything. It doesn't represent an obligation or a right to pay or receive anything of value. There's no cash flow associated with Bitcoin that can be projected and discounted back to the present to come up with a value like you would for a business. Okay, it's not a physical thing; it's an intangible asset. Right. So the bottom line for me, when people are asking me about it, I say, look, it doesn't meet either of those standards. So if you want to take some of your dollars and convert them into Bitcoin, have at it, but understand it's just a sheer speculation at best, right?
It's not an investment. It's
Right.
closer to gambling than it is.
At least poker's a game of skill, right? With you and your buddies.
Yep.
Right? Bingo odds are terrible, but I don't know how you would relate that. Maybe you fancy yourself as a bingo player. I don't know, but it's not. But it's not. It's not an investment.
Yeah.
But marijuana, it's another subject.
Right. Now, how many states is marijuana legal in now?
Well, hey, look. Of the last,
Because I see a lot of folks walking around Jasper that look like maybe.
they may be right. They very well may be. But you know, there's medical usage. I think it's the last I checked, there was 30 states that it was legal in for medical use of marijuana, and there's 9 states and Washington plus Washington D.C. That it was legal for recreational use. Right. And look, another thing I want to make clear: I am not addressing any sort of moral or ethical issues here. I'm not getting into that. I'm strictly speaking from the point of view when folks are asking us about what are the investment merits of these. If we want, we'll refer to them as asset classes. Okay, and so I actually believe that eventually, personally, I believe that marijuana will be legalized in all states. Okay, and I believe that legitimate investment opportunities will arise, that you could actually have some sort of visibility into the future, and I'm talking about visibility of sales or revenues, visibility of earnings, some reasonable expectations, and you could set reasonable expectations for an investment. But even today, as long as it's as it is today, federally, at the federal level, it's illegal, right? Then I say it's still very much a speculation, and the questions you get are always about these little penny stocks, right?
Yep.
It's this, and really, I mean, this may offend some folks, but if the shoe fits, wear it, as my grandmother used to say, right? That it's a looking for something for nothing type idea, a get rich quick scheme.
Right.
And you know, most of those things come to no good end. And the fact of the matter is, my opinion on the future of the marijuana industry is that it's going to be dominated by big companies, big players that are already in place today that have the infrastructure and the economies of scale. Right. And I'm thinking companies like Altria, Philip Morris, Scott's Miracle Grow, right? These are giant companies that it's very difficult for a small company to compete against.
Right.
And look, I'm not saying, because I believe there will be the cases where a small company comes up with some innovative design, they get a patent, and they go from nothing to a whole lot. I believe that will happen. But choosing which ones those are going to be at this stage of the game, I think your odds are better going and betting on black, right?
Yeah.
On what's that, the little wheel, right?
Roulette.
There you go.
So for those folks, and I've had many folks call and say they wanted to buy some cannabis. And I thought, well, I'm not sure you got the right number. And they're like, no, I'm talking about cannabis stock. And to your point, if you must do something like that, and I'm not there yet myself to where I would want to invest in those things, like we've said before, you know, if you're looking for the next Google or Apple, you know, you're better off just buying the technology sector. Same thing here. There's some exchange traded funds that offer you the opportunity to buy companies that only deal in cannabis, the cannabis arena. So that may be an alternative, but you know, it's tough call on that right now because you know I think a lot of where there's going to be money to be made, I think the companies like you said that already have infrastructure and economies of scale are going to be able to come in and dominate those areas. So you're probably better off owning some of those.
And I think that's a good point you make, very good point you make about any of the funds that are put together with a variety of stocks and at least getting some diversification. Yeah. I think at this point it's still very much a speculation, but at least it's a safer form of speculation, getting some diversification than trying to pick a one-off penny stock.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's some pretty good insight on cryptocurrencies and marijuana. I'm sure there'll still be a lot more discussion about those two subjects going forward. But for now, We're going to wrap it up. Thanks for joining us.
Just can't believe all the things people say. Controversy. Am I black or white? Am I straight or gay? Controversy. Do I believe God? Do I believe me? Controversy. 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 I can't understand